Hello, and welcome to Yardmaster's Wealth Education Center, teaching the world to build wealth without sacrificing integrity. My name is Bill Stanley, also known as Yardmaster, and today's topic is ramp-up theory. Ramp-up theory is a very simple concept. Every one of us actually practices ramping up in our everyday lives. In small things, learning to tie your shoe. Your mother or father or somebody shows you how to do it, and you try it and you try it and you try it. You are investing time and energy learning a skill and developing an ability at it that you now can put in your back pocket. You've got this skill. I have taken a little bit of instruction, built up a little bit of knowledge. I've ramped up to this place where now I have shoe tying. You ramped up to being able to tie your shoes. And you have leveraged the ability to tie your shoes into the ability to dress yourself. As you grow older, you leverage the ability to dress yourself with the ability to know how to dress for success. Knowing how to put on clothes and knowing what clothes to put on are two completely different skill sets, as I'm sure most people understand. Ramp-up theory is based on the idea, though, that the fact that nothing left to itself naturally gets better. Every time something is left to itself, the laws of entropy, science, physics, take effect. Everything left to itself naturally breaks down or tends, as they say, towards greater disorder. In other words, if you put your bicycle in the backyard and chain it to the fence, 20 years from now, you're going to have a pile of rust, not a Suzuki 2000 shiny and brand new. You're not going to have something naturally increase or improve or get better. Everything goes to greater disorder. Ramping up is a process of assessing what you have. Take stock. What do I have available to me right now? And even a homeless person has time and some health. They can do something. You can leverage what you have to get more. Think of a leverage. They always taught it in school as the inclined plane, and you can roll things up onto surface. Well, that's true. But I don't see a lot of people using inclined planes as much to improve their lives. They walk up the inclined plane to get into a store, sure, but nobody thinks about it. Think of it as a crowbar that pries something open for you. You have to put some time and effort. You have to hit the right spot. You have to do the right thing. But once you have applied a certain amount of knowledge over a certain period of time and introduced a certain amount of energy into the system, you will develop a process, gain an understanding, or build a machine, any one of which can be utilized to become more productive. You start doing more with less because you've taken this process where you've ramped something up and then you've learned how to work with it, and now this is prerequisite foundation to the next ramp up. Now, left to itself, nothing gets better. You take stock of what you have, you figure out how to use it to get more, and you repeat the process. When you figured out how to leverage what you have to either make more money in the same time, make the same money in less time, produce greater results in the same time, or produce the same results faster, when you have improved your ability, which happens just over time. We refer to it in our company as letting your hands learn how to do it. We're yard workers. We pick weeds. There's no right or wrong way. You get the weed out of the ground. And how you particularly go about doing it, your hands will learn it. Your hands are smarter than your mind. Smarter than it'll ever be. The thing about the ramp up is we've all been trained in the ramp up. We consider education, graduation, to be a ramp up that takes you to the ability to provide for yourself, and that takes you to death. That's not exciting. I'm sorry. That left me very cold. You spend your 18 or 20 or 25 years getting your high school, your college degree, maybe some postgrad, whatever it is, you've educated yourself to a place where you think you are productive in this world. And so you produce. Well, that gets you to being able to have a job. Now, I love Robert Kiyosaki's Cash-flow Quadrant. The Cash-flow Quadrant, read his books. Start with Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and then read the Cash-flow Quadrant, the BI Triangle. Excellent triad of books to start with. I've taken the ESBI Cash-flow Quadrant, and instead of it being ESBI, I have it as E, ramp it up. You ramp up to the E quadrant, being an employee, with school and growing up. But then you're an employee in the E quadrant, and there's ways to ramp up into the S quadrant, self-employed, specialist, small business. And as you do that, you learn skills that are necessary in bigger business. And then when you get there, you have to learn more about the investing. So the ramping up, in my opinion, is an educational process of wealth education that takes you through your childhood as you learn from your parents, from society, from what goes on, from your own observations of reality, and from the lessons that you're taught from schools and whatnot, different sources, television, schools, churches, synagogues, whatnot, places, clubs, anything. You learn wherever you are. You're always taking in information, so there's no time you're not learning. When you hit 18 to 21 years old, they kind of think you're an adult. You graduate high school, you're an adult. You go to college, you're a more trained adult. But you ramp up through what we call our public education system to becoming an adult. And that's it. No, you have to work smarter. Now, the ramp up theory is a progression of growth. We ramp up in all areas. Everything you put some effort into, you get to a certain level in it and you kind of plateau. Sometimes you feel like you've stagnated. You only feel stagnant when you're on that plateau longer than you should be. Now, when you get out of school, you should get a job. I know it's a job, just over broke. I get that. But it's a tool you can use to learn great things, how to provide superior service or how to show up on time every time, how to get basic skills. The E quadrant, the employee quadrant, where you have a job, is a great step in the wealth building process. When you get frustrated thinking I could do this better myself, you get squeezed into the S quadrant. It's almost like you're born. Your reality you're going nuts. You've got to get out of this grind, this sausage machine, this horrible experience. I'm going to choke to death if I have to live this life any longer. And you hang up a shingle. You become a small business owner. You do something. We offered handyman service at one point. We offered yard work at another point. We enjoyed it. But there comes a point, and the reason for the S quadrant, you ramp up so you're not working for somebody, and instead of having a job, you own a job. Because you need to learn business skills in the S quadrant before you are responsible for the livelihoods of a lot of people in the B quadrant. It's a loving thing to go through the ramp up. So you learn the E quadrant lessons, then you learn the S quadrant lessons, then you learn the B quadrant lessons, and then you can learn the I quadrant lessons, and then you are ready to become a really beneficial member of society. Yeah, this is not about get rich quick. This is not even about get rich. You ramp up so that you can grow up, because you grow up to help people, to love your neighbor better. That's what business is for. Anybody not doing that, well, we've seen the results of that, haven't we? And that's what we're here to change, teaching the world to build wealth without sacrificing integrity. So, thank you for watching this video. If you believe it was time well spent, click like and subscribe and leave a comment below. Because if we all do our part to teach the world to build wealth without sacrificing integrity, we will make the world a better place. Again, thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day.